This is Jameson from Cooper Fleet Services. Today is January 28th, 2022, and this is recent automotive news. Sorry for the lack of a video last week. I was out on Friday with a migraine. I'm back now and really appreciate y'all tuning in. Please consider hitting that little red button down below. It really helps us out and I really appreciate it. And with that out of the way, let's get into the news. American auto sales used to be dominated by the big three US auto manufacturers, GM, Ford, and Dodge, or now Stellantis, for a very long time. This trend has been slowly shifting to foreign cars over the last several years, and in 2021, for the first time, Toyota Motors took the #1 sales spot in North America. Toyota also won the world leader in vehicle sales, topping VW again this year and even expanding their lead over last year. Toyota seems to be the auto manufacturer least affected by the microchip shortage in 2021. They attribute that to stockpiling parts early in the pandemic and also working more closely with their suppliers. Toyota production in 2021 was up over 10% from the previous year. This seems to be a much more effective strategy than these multi-billion-dollar companies running to the federal government in hopes that they will legislate another golden parachute for these companies that obviously have major flaws in their business plan. With GM and Ford much more focused on spending billions of dollars to ramp up EV production and research, and Stellantis seemingly winding down in the US market, it has definitely created a huge gap in production of vehicles for the US that Toyota was happy to fill. Toyota is also not going all in on electric vehicles and is developing other technology like hydrogen fuel cells. Unlike the US auto manufacturers that know the government will flood tax dollars to the mega companies because they're too big to fail, Toyota is taking a more reserved and steady approach and looking at multiple options for improving their products. GM announced that they will be building a battery recycling facility next to the Ultium battery plant in Warren, Ohio. Like I spoke about in a recent automotive news segment a few weeks ago, this will be a huge hurdle moving forward as there are currently not enough recycling centers to handle the amount of batteries being scheduled to be produced over the next several years. These batteries are really gross and will require special equipment and processes to dispose of them. This plant is expected to be able to process up to 5,000 tons of batteries each year. I'm glad to see that this problem is getting some solutions early, as I had expected to be overrun with decaying old gross batteries before the process of dealing with the waste was even addressed. But good job, GM. Ford has had over 10,000 orders on the new ETransit electric van. Among the customers ordering the van is Walmart, who reportedly has 1,100 ETransits on order. Ford is claiming that over 300 commercial and government entities have ordered the vehicle that starts just under $45,000. Ford Pro is also launching a test program for 3 farms in California. The 3 farms will be each given 1 ETransit and 1 F-150 Lightning to beat up in some real-world work scenarios. Ford Pro will also be supplying charging stations and telematics to these companies. Ted Canis, the CEO of Ford Pro, said recently in an interview, "We're in a totally unique position to dominate the light-duty commercial vehicle business, and commercial customers have very different needs, but most automakers sell them watered-down versions of their retail offerings, and I think this is a strategic mistake." This is a very interesting take, and anyone who's in the fleet and commercial vehicle space knows that it's very obvious. Ford splitting their retail sales and commercial sales divisions seems to really be driving some fresh ideas about the world of business vehicles. We are heading for a very interesting crossroads, as many auto manufacturers will be delivering their first electric commercial vehicles to companies soon. Issues that we have beat like a dead horse, like charging times and payload capacities, are about to be thrust into the limelight, where we will be able to see for ourselves how the future of EVs will fit into commercial and heavy use cases. I'm a little worried about these manufacturers getting in over their skis and the possibility of massive recalls and lawsuits over a not well flushed out technology may not only put the manufacturers at risk, but also the companies that chose to roll the dice on the early adoption of this technology. That's been it for automotive news this week. Really appreciate everyone tuning in. If you like content like this, feel free to check out our website at www.cooperfleetservices.com. Again, a like, a subscribe, a comment really helps us out. We greatly appreciate it. I really appreciate you all tuning in and look forward to seeing you in the next one. Have a great weekend. Thanks.